ancient Egyptian pyramid builders. Tonight, we're traveling back to a time when simply surviving a single day required more strength than most of us will ever need. Get comfortable, close your eyes, and let me tell you about lives so difficult they'll make your own troubles seem beautifully simple. Welcome to Boring History for Sleep. The Pyramid WRKRSUR, a stonemason working on the Great Pyramid of Khufu at Giza. In the year 2560 BC, you wake before dawn in a workers' village, built specifically to house the thousands of men required to construct monuments that will stand for millennia. Breathing air that carries the scent of Nile mud, limestone dust, and the smoke from countless cooking fires that never completely die. Your sleeping mat is woven from reeds gathered along the Nile riverbank, placed on a raised platform made from mud bricks that keeps you above the moisture that seeps through the ground during flood season. When the great river transforms the landscape into a vast lake that brings life to the desert while making construction work impossible, you dress in a simple linen kilt that provides protection from the sun while allowing freedom of movement, required for the physical labor that will consume every moment of daylight. Work that demands strength, precision, and endurance that pushes human capabilities to their absolute limits, while serving religious purposes that connect earthly labor to eternal divine power. The workers' village is a planned community that houses over 4,000 people involved in pyramid construction, skilled craftsmen, common laborers, supervisors, priests, and the support staff required to maintain a population dedicated entirely to creating monuments that represent the pinnacle of human engineering and religious devotion. Your breakfast consists of bread made from ima wheat, onions that provide flavor and nutrition, and beer that serves as both beverage and food supplement, providing calories and nutrients necessary for physical labor that will continue for hours under desert sun that reaches temperatures capable of killing unprotected workers. The walk to the construction site takes you past massive limestone blocks that have been quarried from nearby sites, transported using techniques that combine human labor with ingenious mechanical systems, positioned with precision that requires mathematical knowledge and engineering skills that exceed anything previously attempted in human history. The Great Pyramid rises before you like a mountain created by human hands, each stone block weighing several tons, fitted together with tolerances measured in fractions of inches, creating structures that will survive earthquakes, storms, and the passage of millennia, while maintaining their essential form and function. Your work begins with climbing wooden ramps that spiral around the pyramid's exterior, carrying tools and materials to heights that make men dizzy. Walking on surfaces become slippery with limestone dust, while wearing sandals that provide minimal protection against sharp stones and construction debris. The ramps are engineering marvels themselves, built from mud, brick, and rubble, reinforced with timber supports, and designed to handle the weight of massive stone blocks being moved by teams of workers using rope levers, uncoordinated human effort that must be perfectly timed to prevent accidents that could kill dozens of men. You work as part of a team responsible for positioning and fitting limestone blocks that form the pyramid's exterior casing. Work that requires measuring, cutting, and adjusting stones until they fit together so perfectly that a knife blade cannot be inserted between them, creating surfaces that will remain smooth and precise for thousands of years. The tools you use include copper chisels that must be sharpened constantly, wooden mallets that deliver precise blows, bronze saws that cut through stone with patience and skill, and measuring devices that ensure accuracy to tolerances that seem impossible given the limitations of available technology and human eyesight. Stone cutting requires techniques that have been developed through generations of craftsmen, methods that involve understanding how different types of limestone respond to chiseling, how to split blocks along natural fracture lines, and how to shape irregular stones into geometric forms that will fit precisely into predetermined positions. The limestone blocks arrive at your work area after being quarried from sites located miles away, transported by teams of workers who drag them on wooden sledges across terrain that has been leveled and prepared specifically for moving multi-ton objects using only human muscle power, rope, and basic mechanical advantage. Quarrying operations run continuously throughout the year, except during flood season when the Nile rises and makes transportation impossible, requiring careful planning that coordinates stone production with construction schedules, while maintaining steady supply of materials needed for work that cannot be delayed without disrupting the entire project. The quarrying process involves identifying suitable limestone deposits, removing overburden using copper tools and fire, splitting stone along natural fracture lines using wooden wedges and water, and shaping rough blocks into forms that can be transported and further refined at the construction site. Transportation of massive stone blocks requires teams of hundreds of workers pulling sledges across specially constructed roads, using techniques that involve placing wooden rollers under heavy loads, applying water to reduce friction, and coordinating human effort through work songs that maintain rhythm and prevent accidents caused by uneven pulling. The work songs serve multiple purposes: coordinating group effort, maintaining morale during exhausting labor, preserving cultural traditions that connect workers to their community, and providing entertainment that makes unbearable work slightly more tolerable. Through shared musical expression and communal participation, your daily work routine includes periods of intense physical labor, alternating with brief rest periods when water is distributed, tools are maintained, and supervisors provide instructions for the next phase of work, creating schedules that maximize productivity while preventing the complete exhaustion that would make workers unable to continue. Water is provided regularly throughout the day, because dehydration kills workers faster than accidents. Distribute by teams of young men who carry ceramic jars filled from the Nile, sweetened with honey when available, and sometimes flavored with herbs that are believed to provide protection against illness and heat exhaustion. The supervisors include skilled craftsmen who understand construction techniques, priests who ensure that religious requirements are met, and administrators who coordinate the complex logistics required to supply materials, food, and labor for projects that involve more people than most cities contain. Religious ceremonies recur regularly throughout the construction process, because pyramid building serves spiritual purposes that require proper rituals, offerings to gods who control the success of the project, and prayers that ensure the pharaoh's successful transition to the afterlife, making every aspect of construction a religious act. The priests who supervise religious aspects of construction maintain detailed knowledge of astronomical alignments, mathematical relationships, and symbolic meanings that must be incorporated into pyramid design, ensuring that physical structures serve spiritual purposes while demonstrating divine authority and eternal power. Food is provided by a complex supply system that brings grain from throughout Egypt, livestock from farms dedicated to feeding construction workers, and specialized foods that provide nutrition required for physical labor that exceeds normal human activity while maintaining health and strength over years of continuous work. The kitchens that serve the workers' village operate continuously, preparing meals for thousands of people using techniques that include baking bread in ovens that never cool, brewing beer in quantities that rival commercial operations, and processing meat from animals that are butchered daily to provide fresh protein. Medical care is provided by physicians who understand treatments for injuries common in construction work, including broken bones, cuts from sharp tools, heat exhaustion, and the various ailments that affect men performing dangerous physical labor under extreme conditions for extended periods. The physicians use treatments that combine practical experience with religious practices, applying bandages soaked in honey to prevent infection, setting broken bones using splints and wrappings, behit, and providing herbs that reduce pain and inflammation, while performing rituals that invoke divine healing power. Injuries are common because construction work involves dangerous activities, lifting heavy objects, working at heights, using sharp tools, and moving massive stones that can crush anyone who makes mistakes or experiences equipment. Failure during critical moments when perfect coordination is essential for safety. The most dangerous work involves positioning capstones at the pyramid's apex, requiring skilled workers to climb to heights where wind can knock men off narrow ledges, while handling stones that must be placed with precision despite the fear and exhaustion that affects everyone working at elevations where falling means certain death. Your sleeping quarters are shared with other workers, providing shelter from desert winds that carry sand into every opening, protection from scorpions and snakes that inhabit the area, penned space for personal possessions that include tools, extra clothing, and small religious items that provide spiritual comfort. The workers' village includes facilities for tool maintenance, food storage, and the various crafts required to support pyramid construction, creating a complete community dedicated to monument building, while maintaining the social structures and cultural practices that define Egyptian civilization. Economic relationships within the workers' village involve trade, barter, and credit systems that allow workers to obtain goods and services not provided by the royal administration, creating informal markets where skills, crafts, and personal items are exchanged according to local needs and individual preferences. Your wages are paid in food rations, clothing, and other necessities rather than money, because pyramid construction represents royal service that provides workers with housing, meals, medical care, and religious participation that connects them to the divine authority, that makes their labor meaningful and socially valuable. The social hierarchy within the workers' village reflects broader Egyptian society, with skilled craftsmen receiving better treatment than common laborers, supervisors enjoying privileges that include larger living spaces, and priests maintaining religious authority that influences all aspects of community, life, and work organization. Education occurs through apprenticeship systems, where young men learn construction techniques by working alongside experienced craftsmen, gradually developing skills that qualify them for more responsible positions, while preserving knowledge that enables continued pyramid construction and architectural achievement. The apprenticeship system ensures that construction knowledge passes from generation to generation, maintaining techniques that achieve precision and durability that exceeds anything previously attempted, while adapting methods to specific requirements of different pyramid projects and changing technological capabilities. Seasonal variations affect construction schedules because flood season makes transportation impossible. Extreme heat during summer months requires modified work schedules, and cooler winter weather allows extended working hours that increase productivity while reducing risks associated with heat exhaustion and dehydration. During flood season, when construction work stops, many workers return to their home villages to participate in agricultural activities, maintain family connections, buy and engage in crafts that provide supplemental income while waiting for construction season to resume with renewed transportation capabilities. The agricultural connections of pyramid workers reflect the broader Egyptian economy, where most people depend on farming for their livelihood, requiring coordination between construction schedules and agricultural demands, while maintaining skilled workforce that can return to pyramid building when needed. Construction techniques involve sophisticated understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering that enables precise alignment of pyramid structures with cardinal directions. Incorporation of mathematical relationships that reflect religious beliefs, and architectural features that demonstrate technological capabilities exceeding anything previously achieved. The mathematical knowledge required for pyramid construction includes understanding of geometric relationships, calculation of angles and measurements, and coordination of complex projects that involve thousands of workers performing different tasks that must integrate perfectly to achieve desired results. Astronomical alignments, incorporated into pyramid design, reflect religious beliefs about the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife, requiring precise orientation of internal passages, chamber, and external features that correspond to celestial bodies and seasonal events, while maintaining structural integrity under enormous weight. The engineering challenges of pyramid construction require solutions to problems that have never been encountered before, moving massive weights to great heights, achieving precision in measurements and placement, pair and coordinating complex projects that involve more people and resources than any previous human undertaking. Your work contributes to monuments that will survive for millennia, representing the pinnacle of human achievement in architecture, engineering, and religious expression, while demonstrating the organizational capabilities and technical knowledge that define Egyptian civilization at its peak. The pyramid construction project represents the ultimate expression of royal power, religious devotion, and technological capability, creating monuments that serve as eternal resting places for divine kings, while demonstrating the wealth, knowledge, and organizational skills that enable Egyptian society to achieve unprecedented architectural accomplishments. This daily routine of pyramid construction work shapes your life through physical demands that push human endurance to its limit, social relationships that connect you to the largest organized project ever attempted, and spiritual participation in religious activities that provide meaning and purpose to labor that serves divine authority and eternal power. The Great Pyramid rises stone by stone through the combined efforts of thousands of workers, whose individual contributions create monuments that will define human achievement for centuries, representing the transformation of raw materials into architectural marvels through coordinated human effort, technical knowledge, and religious devotion that transcends individual mortality. The pharaohs Sio, or Khufu, divine ruler of Egypt in the year 2560 BC, you wake in the royal palace at Memphis, surrounded by luxury that exceeds anything imaginable to common people, attended by servants whose only purpose is ensuring that every aspect of your daily existence demonstrates the divine authority that makes you the living representative of the gods on earth. Your sleeping chamber is a marvel of Egyptian craftsmanship. Walls decorated with gold leaf and precious stones, furniture made from rare woods imported from distant lands, and textiles woven from the finest linen that feels like silk against skin that has never known the roughness of common materials or the hardships that define ordinary human existence. The bed itself is a masterpiece of royal furniture, carved from ebony wood and inlaid with ivory and gold, covered with linens so fine they are nearly transparent, surrounded by curtains that can be drawn for privacy, while maintaining air circulation that keeps the royal chamber comfortable during the heat of Egyptian summers. You dress in garments that represent the pinnacle of Egyptian textile production, linen so fine it requires months of work to produce, dyed with colors that cost more than most people earn in lifetimes, and decorated with gold thread that catches light and creates an aura of divine radiance around your royal person. The crown you wear is not merely decoration, but a religious symbol that connects you to the gods. Crafted from gold that represents the eternal and incorruptible nature of divine power. Decorated with precious stones that correspond to celestial bodies and spiritual forces that govern the universe through your earthly authority. Your breakfast is served on golden plates, prepared by cooks whose skills represent the highest achievement. Peer in culinary arts, featuring foods imported from throughout the known world and prepared with techniques that transform simple ingredients into dishes worthy of divine consumption, that sustain royal health and demonstrate imperial wealth. The palace complex that surrounds you is a city within a city, housing hundreds of people whose sole purpose is serving royal need, maintaining royal comfort, and ensuring that every aspect of your daily routine demonstrates the divine authority that makes you more than human while connecting earthly power to eternal spiritual forces. Your daily routine begins with religious ceremonies that affirm your divine status, including rituals performed by priests who maintain direct communication with the gods, offerings that ensure continued divine favor, and prayers that request spiritual guidance for decisions that affect the entire kingdom and its millions of subjects. The priests who serve in your court possess knowledge that includes astronomy, mathematics, religious doctrine, and the complex rituals required to maintain divine order, ensuring that your actions align with cosmic forces while preserving the spiritual relationships that make royal authority legitimate and effective. Administrative duties require daily attention to reports from officials who govern distant provinces, manage royal estates, and oversee the collection of taxes that fund royal projects while maintaining the complex bureaucracy that makes centralized government possible in a kingdom that spans hundreds of miles along the Nile River. The reports you receive detail crop yields, tax collections, legal disputes, and military activities throughout Egypt, requiring decisions that affect millions of people while demonstrating the administrative capabilities that make unified government possible. Despite the challenges of communication and transportation in ancient conditions, your pyramid construction project represents the ultimate expression of royal power, requiring coordination of resources, labor, and materials on a scale never before attempted, while serving religious purposes that ensure your successful transition to the afterlife and continued divine authority throughout eternity. The pyramid project involves more than pyramid building, planning entire complexes that include temples, smaller pyramids for royal family members, and the infrastructure required to support ongoing religious activities that will continue for centuries after your death, maintaining royal cult practices that preserve divine authority beyond physical mortality. Daily consultations with pyramid architects and engineers require understanding of technical details that include structural engineering, mathematical calculations, and construction techniques that push human capabilities to their limits, while achieving precision that demonstrates divine perfection through human craftsmanship and architectural achievement. The architects who design your pyramid possess knowledge that combines mathematical understanding with religious doctrine, creating structures that incorporate astronomical alignments, symbolic proportions, and engineering solutions that serve both practical and spiritual purposes, while demonstrating technological capabilities that exceed previous human achievement. Religious ceremonies connected to pyramid construction occur regularly throughout the building process, because monument creation serves spiritual purposes that require proper rituals, divine blessing, and religious oversight that ensures construction activities align with cosmic forces while maintaining divine favor, essential for project success. Your court includes officials who manage different aspects of royal administration, priests who oversee religious activities, generals who command military forces, scribes who maintain records, and advisors who provide counsel on matters that require specialized knowledge or experience with similar situations from previous reigns. Scribes who serve in your court maintain detailed records of all royal activities, preserving information that includes administrative decisions, religious ceremonies, construction progress, and diplomatic correspondence that documents royal authority, while creating historical records that will preserve royal achievements for future generations. Military commanders report regularly on army activities, border security, and the training of soldiers who protect Egypt from external threats while maintaining internal order that ensures royal authority remains unchallenged by local officials or potential rivals who might question divine legitimacy. Of royal power. The army that serves under your command includes professional soldiers, local militia, and foreign mercenaries who provide different military capabilities while maintaining loyalty to royal authority through wages, land grants, and social advancement opportunities that make military service attractive to ambitious young men from throughout Egyptian society. Diplomatic activities require attention to relationships with neighboring kingdoms, trade arrangements that bring exotic goods to Egypt, pound treaties that maintain peace while protecting Egyptian interests in a complex international environment where royal authority must be balanced against external political pressures. Foreign diplomats who visit your court bring gifts that demonstrate respect for Egyptian power while negotiating agreements that affect trade, territorial boundaries, and military alliances that influence regional stability while maintaining Egyptian dominance in areas that have strategic or economic importance. 2. Royal interests. The gifts you receive from foreign rulers include exotic animals, precious metals, rare woods, and crafted objects that demonstrate the international recognition of Egyptian power, while providing materials that enhance royal luxury and support. Egyptian crafts that contribute to royal prestige and divine authority. Royal hunts provide recreation while demonstrating royal power over natural forces. featuring expeditions that include hundreds of participants, elaborate equipment, and ceremonies that celebrate royal success while maintaining traditions that connect divine authority to mastery over wild animals and natural environment. The hunting expeditions take place in areas that have been prepared specifically for royal use, featuring game preserves that maintain populations of lions, leopards, and other dangerous animals that provide appropriate challenges for royal hunting while ensuring that risks remain manageable for divine persons whose safety cannot be compromised. Court entertainment includes performances by musicians, dancers, storytellers who provide cultural enrichment while demonstrating royal patronage of arts that reflect Egyptian cultural achievement and divine appreciation for human creativity that serves spiritual purposes through artistic expression and cultural preservation. The musicians who perform in your court use instruments that include harps, flutes, drums, and stringed instruments that create music designed specifically for royal enjoyment, while maintaining religious traditions that connect artistic expression to divine worship and spiritual practices that enhance royal authority. Through cultural demonstration, royal meals are elaborate affairs that feature multiple courses, exotic ingredients, and ceremonial service that demonstrates royal wealth, while providing nutrition that maintains royal health and energy required for the demanding responsibilities of divine rule and administrative oversight that affects millions of subjects throughout the kingdom. The royal kitchens employ dozens of cooks who specialize in different aspects of food preparation, including bakers who create elaborate breads, brewers who produce royal beer, and specialists who prepare meat, vegetables, and desserts that meet royal standards, while maintaining freshness and safety that protects royal health. Your family relationships include royal wives, children, and relatives who share divine status, while maintaining social hierarchy that places you at the apex of royal authority, requiring careful attention to succession planning, marriage alliances, and family activities that strengthen royal power while preserving divine legitimacy. The royal wives come from noble families throughout Egypt and from foreign kingdoms, representing political alliances that strengthen royal authority, while producing heirs who will continue divine rule and maintain royal bloodlines that preserve divine authority through genetic inheritance and religious doctrine. Royal children receive education that prepares them for potential rule, including training in religious doctrine, administrative skills, military leadership, and cultural knowledge that qualifies them for royal responsibilities, while ensuring that divine authority passes to qualified successors who can maintain royal traditions and governmental effectiveness. Palace life includes elaborate ceremonies that mark important events, religious festivals that celebrate divine authority, and social activities that maintain royal connections to noble families, while demonstrating royal power through display of wealth, cultural sophistication, and divine favor that inspires loyalty and obedience. The royal treasury contains wealth. That includes gold, silver, precious stones, and exotic goods that demonstrate royal prosperity while providing resources for royal projects, gifts to supporters, and emergency funds that maintain royal authority during difficult periods when economic or political challenges threaten governmental stability. Administrative oversight requires daily attention to the complex bureaucracy that manages royal estates, collects taxes, maintains public works, and enforces royal laws throughout Egypt, while ensuring that governmental efficiency supports royal authority and maintains social order that prevents rebellion or administrative breakdown. Your legacy includes not only the pyramid that will preserve your body for eternity, but also the governmental institutions, cultural achievements, and religious practices that will continue long after your death, influencing Egyptian civilization for centuries while maintaining divine authority that transcends individual mortality through institutional continuity. The pyramid construction that consumes so much royal attention and resources represents your preparation for eternal life, ensuring that your divine authority will continue in the afterlife while providing a monument that demonstrates royal power to future generations who will remember your reign through architectural achievement that exceeds all previous human accomplishment. This royal existence combines unlimited luxury with tremendous responsibility, divine authority with human limitations, and temporal power with eternal religious significance, creating a life that seems magnificent from the outside while requiring constant attention to duties that affect millions of people and influence the course of human civilization. The sacred MYST, or within the Great Pyramid, in chambers that will remain sealed for millennia. Ancient Egyptian priests perform rituals that connect earthly construction to cosmic forces, creating spiritual pathways that enable the pharaoh's soul to travel through the afterlife while maintaining divine authority that transcends physical death and connects temporal power to eternal spiritual realm. The mystery schools that train these priests preserve knowledge that includes astronomical calculations, mathematical relationships, and religious doctrines that have been passed down through generations of initiates who understand the sacred sciences that make pyramid construction possible while serving spiritual purposes that exceed mere architectural achievement. The priests who perform these sacred rituals possess knowledge that includes the precise alignments required for spiritual effectiveness, the mathematical proportions that create harmony between earthly structures and celestial movements, and the religious ceremonies that activate spiritual forces embedded within pyramid design through sacred geometry and divine architecture. The sacred chambers within the pyramid contain objects that serve spiritual purposes, golden implements that focus divine energy, crystal formations that amplify cosmic forces, and religious texts that provide guidance for souls traveling through the afterlife while maintaining connections to earthly authority that continues beyond physical mortality. The astronomical alignments built into pyramid design reflect understanding of celestial cycles that include the precession of stars, the movements of planets, and the seasonal changes that affect spiritual forces, while creating architectural features that channel cosmic energy for religious purposes that enhance divine authority and spiritual effectiveness. The mathematical relationships embedded in pyramid proportions include the golden ratio, pi, and other geometric constants that reflect universal principles, while creating structures that resonate with cosmic harmonies and spiritual forces that connect earthly construction to divine order and eternal spiritual reality. The religious ceremonies performed during pyramid construction include rituals that consecrate each stone, prayers that invoke divine blessing for construction activities, and offerings that ensure spiritual protection for workers while maintaining religious purposes that make physical labor part of spiritual practice and divine service. The mystery teachings preserved by pyramid priests include knowledge of life after death, the journey of souls through spiritual realms, and the techniques required to maintain consciousness beyond physical mortality, while preserving divine authority that enables continued influence over earthly affairs through spiritual means. The sacred texts that guide pyramid construction include instructions for creating architectural features that serve spiritual purposes, mathematical formulas that ensure proper proportions, and religious doctrines that connect physical structures to cosmic forces while maintaining divine authority through architectural expression of spiritual truth. The initiation rituals that prepare priests for pyramid service include training in sacred mathematics, astronomical observation, and religious practices that qualify them for handling divine forces while maintaining spiritual purity that enables communication with gods and manipulation of cosmic energies through ritual knowledge and religious authority. The prophecies associated with pyramid construction include predictions about future ages, descriptions of spiritual transformations that will affect human consciousness, and revelations about divine plans that extend far beyond individual reigns, while connecting Egyptian civilization to cosmic purposes that transcend temporal political authority. The sacred geometry that governs pyramid design includes principles that create architectural harmony, mathematical relationships that reflect divine order, and geometric patterns that channel spiritual forces while creating structures that serve both practical and religious purposes through integration of sacred science and construction technology. The mystery schools that preserve this knowledge include facilities within pyramid complexes, training centers that educate new generations of priests, and libraries that maintain sacred texts while ensuring that spiritual knowledge continues. Through institutional preservation of religious doctrine and sacred science, the spiritual technologies employed in pyramid construction include techniques for moving massive stones using sound vibrations, methods for achieving precision through spiritual guidance, and practices that enhance human capabilities through religious ritual and divine assistance that transcends normal physical limitations. The cosmic connections created through pyramid construction include alignments that link earthly structures to star systems, mathematical relationships that connect architectural features to celestial movements, and spiritual pathways that enable communication between earthly and divine realms, while maintaining cosmic harmony. The religious mysteries that surround pyramid construction include knowledge about the nature of divine authority, techniques for maintaining spiritual power beyond physical death, and practices that connect temporal rule to eternal spiritual forces while ensuring continuity of divine influence through architectural monuments and religious institutions. The sacred purposes that motivate pyramid construction include creating eternal resting places for divine kings, establishing spiritual centers that maintain cosmic order, and building monuments that demonstrate divine authority while serving religious functions that continue long after construction completion, through ongoing ritual activities and spiritual practices. The mystery traditions that develop around pyramid construction include religious orders that maintain sacred knowledge, initiation systems that preserve spiritual techniques, and ceremonial practices that connect generations of priests to divine authority, while ensuring that sacred science continues through institutional transmission of religious knowledge and spiritual technology. This sacred dimension of pyramid construction transforms physical labor into spiritual service, architectural achievement into religious expression, bend royal monuments into cosmic structures that serve divine purposes while maintaining connections between earthly authority and eternal spiritual forces that transcend individual mortality and temporal political power. The Nile flood season. The annual flooding of the Nile River transforms Egypt from desert into fertile farmland, creating seasonal rhythms that govern all aspects of Egyptian life, including pyramid construction that must adapt to natural cycles while maintaining project schedules that serve royal requirements and religious purposes that cannot be delayed by environmental constraints. The flood season begins in late summer when monsoon rains in distant Ethiopian highlands create massive water flows that travel down the Nile River system, carrying fertile silt that will replenish Egyptian agricultural land while making transportation and construction activities impossible for months at a time. The rising waters gradually cover the entire Nile Valley, creating a vast inland sea that reaches from the river's normal banks to the edge of the desert, transforming familiar landscapes into water-covered terrain that requires different transportation methods while providing opportunities for activities that are impossible during dry seasons. Pyramid construction stops completely during flood season because transportation of stone blocks becomes impossible when roads are underwater. Quarrying operations cannot continue in flooded areas, and the workforce must be redistributed to activities that can continue despite environmental changes that affect all construction-related activities. The workers who labor on pyramid construction during dry seasons return to their home villages during flood season, participating in agricultural activities that include planting crops in newly fertile soil, maintaining irrigation systems, and preparing for harvest seasons that will provide food for the entire year, while maintaining family connections. The seasonal workforce system requires careful coordination between pyramid construction schedules and agricultural demands, ensuring that skilled workers remain available for construction activities while allowing them to maintain agricultural connections that provide food security and family stability during periods when construction work is not possible. The flood season provides opportunities for activities that cannot be performed during construction periods. Tool maintenance and manufacturing, planning for upcoming construction phases, and training of new workers who will join construction teams when building activities resume with the return of dry weather and transportation capabilities. The Royal Administration uses flood season for administrative activities that include planning construction schedules, coordinating resource allocation, and managing the complex logistics required to support large-scale construction projects, while maintaining governmental functions that continue regardless of seasonal environmental changes. The religious activities that occur during flood season include ceremonies that celebrate the life-giving properties of the Nile flood, rituals that ensure continued divine favor for construction projects, and festivals that maintain spiritual connections between natural cycles and human activities, while honoring gods who control environmental forces. The Nile flood is considered a divine blessing that demonstrates the gods' favor toward Egypt, requiring religious ceremonies that acknowledge divine generosity, while requesting continued divine support for royal projects and national prosperity that depends on agricultural abundance created by annual flooding. The agricultural activities that depend on Nile flooding include planting crops that will mature during dry seasons, maintaining irrigation systems that distribute floodwaters, and preparing fields that will provide food for the entire Egyptian population, while supporting specialized workers who focus on non-agricultural activities. The economic impact of flood season affects all aspects of Egyptian society. Agricultural production that provides food for the entire population. Transportation systems that must adapt to changed environmental conditions. Care and labor allocation that redistributes workers between agricultural and construction activities according to seasonal requirements. The flood season creates opportunities for cultural activities that include storytelling, craft production, and social events that maintain community connections while providing entertainment during periods when normal work activities are disrupted by environmental changes that affect transportation and outdoor activities. The planning activities that occur during flood season include architectural design work, mathematical calculations required for construction projects, and administrative preparations that ensure construction activities can resume efficiently when environmental conditions permit transportation and outdoor work to continue. The social effects of flood season include family reunions when construction workers return home, community celebrations that mark seasonal changes, and cultural activities that maintain traditions while providing relief from the demanding work schedules that characterize construction periods. The religious significance of flood season includes ceremonies that connect natural cycles to divine authority, rituals that ensure continued divine favor for royal projects, and festivals that celebrate the life-giving properties of the Nile River while maintaining spiritual connections to natural forces that govern Egyptian prosperity. The technological adaptations required for flood season include boat construction for transportation, elevated storage for materials and tools, and architectural modifications that protect buildings and equipment from flood damage while ensuring that construction activities can resume quickly when environmental conditions permit. The flood season represents the natural rhythm that governs all Egyptian life, creating annual cycles that connect human activities to environmental forces while requiring adaptations that maintain continuity of royal projects and social institutions. Despite seasonal changes that affect transportation, communication, and outdoor activities, the medical challenges of flood season include increased disease transmission due to standing water, injuries from transportation accidents in flood conditions, bowel and health problems that result from dietary changes and different living conditions that affect workers during periods when normal routines are disrupted by environmental changes. The flood season creates opportunities for maintenance activities that include repair of tools and equipment, improvement of living facilities, and preparation for resumed construction activities, while providing time for rest and recovery that enables workers to maintain the physical condition required for demanding construction work. The flood season demonstrates the interconnection between natural forces and human activities, requiring adaptations that maintain project continuity while acknowledging environmental constraints that affect all aspects of Egyptian life, including the most important royal projects that serve divine purposes and demonstrate royal authority. This seasonal rhythm creates annual cycles that connect pyramid construction to natural forces, requiring planning and adaptation that maintain project schedules while acknowledging environmental realities that affect all human activities and demonstrate the need for harmony between human ambition and natural limitations that govern earthly existence. Samurai in feudal Japan. The warrior's path. You are a samurai in feudal Japan. In the year 1185, during the Kamakura period, when the warrior class has seized control from the imperial court, creating a military government that values martial prowess above all else, while maintaining rigid social hierarchies that determine every aspect of daily life through birth, honor, and sword skill. Your day begins before dawn in your family's modest wooden house within the castle town, kneeling onto tommy mats that provide the only cushioning between your body and the wooden floor, breathing air that carries the scent of incense from the household shrine where your ancestors' spirits reside, alongside the kami who protect your clan. The morning ritual of preparing for potential combat starts with washing your face and hands in cold water, a purification practice that serves both practical and spiritual purposes, connecting physical cleanliness to spiritual purity that enables proper service to your Lord. while maintaining the ritual discipline that defines samurai existence. You dress in layers that reflect both practical needs and social status. A white cotton underrobe that absorbs moisture and provides warmth. A silk kimono that demonstrates your rank within the warrior hierarchy. And the hakama trousers that allow freedom of movement while maintaining the formal appearance required for someone of your social position. Your armor, when worn, consists of hundreds of small metal plates laced together with silk cords, creating flexible protection that can deflect sword blows while allowing the mobility required for combat on foot and horseback, weighing nearly 40 pounds, but distributed across your body in ways that permit rapid movement during battle conditions. The katana and wakizashi swords that define your identity as a samurai are not merely weapons, but spiritual extensions of your soul, forged through techniques that combine metallurgy with religious ritual, creating blades that serve both practical and ceremonial purposes, while representing the honor and skill that justify your position in society. Your horse, essential for mobility and status, requires daily care that includes grooming, feeding, and training exercises that maintain the animal's condition for warfare, while demonstrating the horsemanship skills that distinguish mounted samurai from common foot soldiers, who lack the resources and training for cavalry service. The morning meal consists of rice, miso soup, and pickled vegetables, simple foods that provide necessary nutrition, while reflecting the aesthetic principles that value simplicity and restraint, avoiding the elaborate cuisine that might distract from the martial focus required for constant readiness to serve your lord's military needs. Training begins at sunrise with sword practice that includes kata forms designed to perfect technique through repetitive motions, solo exercises that develop muscle memory and spiritual concentration, and sparring sessions with wooden swords that test skills while minimizing the risk of injury that could affect combat readiness. The sword techniques you practice include strikes, blocks, and combinations that have been refined through generations of warfare, movements that must become instinctive because combat allows no time for conscious thought, requiring physical responses that emerge from years of disciplined training and spiritual preparation. Archery practice, equally important for samurai warfare, involves shooting at targets from horseback at full gallop, developing the coordination and accuracy required for mounted combat while maintaining the physical strength needed to draw bows that require tremendous upper body power and precise timing. The bow you use is a composite weapon made from bamboo, wood, and sinew, asymmetrically designed to accommodate shooting from horseback while providing the power to penetrate armor at ranges that allow tactical flexibility during battle, requiring specialized techniques that take years to master. Your daily routine includes administrative duties that reflect the samurai's role as both warrior and government official, managing the lands granted by your lord, collecting taxes from peasant farmers, and maintaining the complex records required for feudal administration that supports military operations through organized resource management. the peasant farmers who work your allocated lands depend on your protection from bandits and rival armies, while owing you a portion of their harvest, creating relationships that combine economic exploitation with genuine mutual dependence. As your military effectiveness depends on the agricultural productivity that funds your warrior lifestyle. Legal disputes among the farmers require your attention as their feudal superior, making decisions that affect property rights, family conflicts, and commercial disagreements, while maintaining order that prevents disruptions too. Agricultural production that could affect military preparations and political stability. The castle, town where you live, serves as both administrative center and military stronghold, designed with defensive features that include walls, moats, and strategic positioning that can protect the population during siege warfare, while serving as a base for military operations that extend samurai control over surrounding territories. Your lord's castle represents the pinnacle of military architecture, featuring multiple defensive rings, carefully planned approaches that channel attackers into killing zones, and living quarters that demonstrate the wealth and power that successful military leadership can accumulate through conquest and effective governance. Daily weapons maintenance requires careful attention to keeping sword blades sharp and rust-free, armor components properly oiled and adjusted, and arrows straight and balanced, because equipment failure during combat means death for warriors who depend on their weapons for survival and effectiveness in battle. The sword polishing ritual serves both practical and spiritual purposes, maintaining the blade's cutting edge while providing meditative focus that connects physical maintenance to spiritual discipline, creating moments of quiet concentration that balance the violence of combat with peaceful ritual practice. Religious observances include prayers at Shinto shrines that honor the kami, who protect warriors, Buddhist meditation that provides spiritual strength for facing death, and ancestor veneration that connects individual service to family honor accumulated through generations of faithful military service. The code of bushido that governs samurai behavior emphasizes loyalty, honor, and courage, creating moral standards that justify the warrior class's political dominance, while requiring personal conduct that demonstrates worthiness for the privileges and responsibilities that come with samurai status. Honor, the central concept of samurai identity, requires absolute loyalty to your lord, willingness to die rather than accept defeat or disgrace, banged, and conduct that reflects well on your family name, while maintaining the respect necessary for effective leadership and social cohesion within the warrior class. Training in martial arts extends beyond swordsmanship to include hand-to-hand combat techniques, spear fighting, and the use of various weapons that might be encountered in battle, developing versatility that enables adaptation to different combat situations, while maintaining the physical conditioning required for warfare. The tea ceremony, despite its peaceful appearance, serves martial purposes by developing concentration, discipline, and aesthetic sensitivity that enhance combat effectiveness, while providing cultural refinement that distinguishes educated samurai from mere soldiers, who lack the cultural sophistication expected of warrior-administrators. Poetry composition. Another, seemingly non-martial skill, develops verbal precision, emotional control, and aesthetic awareness that improve tactical thinking while providing cultural accomplishments that demonstrate the educational achievements that justify samurai. Political authority and social leadership. Your marriage, arranged by your family to strengthen political alliances, connects you to other samurai families, while producing heirs who will continue family military traditions, creating kinship networks that provide mutual support during political conflicts, while maintaining the social bonds that hold the warrior class together. The relationship with your wife involves mutual respect and shared responsibility for family honor. Her role focuses on household management and child rearing, while your duties center on military service and political obligations that require frequent absence from home for extended periods. Your children's education begins early with physical training that develops strength and coordination, moral instruction that teaches proper conduct, and cultural education that provides the knowledge needed for positions of responsibility within the warrior class hierarchy. The political situation requires constant attention to alliances, rivalries, and opportunities that could affect your lord's power and your own position within the feudal hierarchy, creating complex relationships that blend personal loyalty with strategic calculation while maintaining honor and avoiding disgrace. Intelligence, gathering about rival clans, includes monitoring troop movements, political negotiations, and economic conditions that could affect military capabilities, requiring networks of informants and diplomatic contacts that provide information needed for strategic planning and tactical preparation. Economic management involves supervising agricultural production, managing household finances, and maintaining the resources needed for military equipment and family obligations, while ensuring that financial security supports military effectiveness and social position. Your death, should it come in battle, would be considered honorable if it demonstrates courage and loyalty, while death from disease or old age lacks the glory that justifies samurai existence, creating cultural pressure to seek opportunities for heroic death that validates warrior identity. The seppuku ritual, available as a means of preserving honor when disgrace threatens, provides a way to die with dignity while protecting family reputation, requiring tremendous courage and spiritual preparation that transforms suicide into a demonstration of warrior virtue and moral strength. Training for seppuku includes meditation practices that develop acceptance of death, spiritual exercises that strengthen resolve, and practical preparation that ensures the ritual can be performed correctly when circumstances make honorable death preferable to continued life with diminished honor. Your legacy depends on maintaining family honor through courageous service, successful military campaigns, and proper conduct that reflects well on your ancestors, while providing a worthy example for your descendants, who will inherit the responsibilities and privileges of samurai status. The seasonal campaigns that define military life require preparation. That includes equipment, maintenance, strategic planning, and spiritual preparation for combat that might result in death. Creating annual rhythms that alternate between peaceful administration and violent warfare. This samurai existence combines privilege with tremendous responsibility, honor with constant danger, and cultural refinement with brutal warfare, creating a life that demands everything from individuals who accept the burden of military leadership while maintaining the discipline and courage required for effective service to feudal lords and family honor. The shadow war in the darkness between official battle. A different kind of warfare emerges through the activities of ninja. Clans who serve various feudal lords while maintaining their own secret agendas, creating networks of espionage, assassination, and unconventional warfare that operate outside the honorable combats preferred by samurai warriors. The ninja who serve your lord come from mountain villages that have developed specialized skills in stealth, infiltration, and information gathering, techniques that complement conventional samurai warfare while providing capabilities that honorable combat cannot achieve, creating tactical advantages that determine the outcomes of political conflicts. Your first encounter with ninja operations occurs when your lord assigns you to coordinate intelligence activities that require working with agents whose methods violate everything you have been taught about honorable warfare, forcing you to balance samurai principles with practical necessities that determine military success. The ninja techniques include disguise, concealment, and deception that enable infiltration of enemy territories, gathering of intelligence about military plans, and sabotage of enemy capabilities through methods that avoid direct confrontation while achieving strategic objectives that conventional warfare cannot accomplish. The training methods used by ninja clans include physical conditioning that develops extraordinary agility, mental discipline that enables functioning under extreme stress, and technical skills that range from lock-picking to poison preparation, creating specialists who complement samurai capabilities while operating according to different moral codes. Intelligence networks maintained by ninja clans extend throughout Japan, connecting agents who pose as merchants, farmers, and religious pilgrims, while gathering information about political developments, military preparations, and economic conditions that affect the balance of power between competing feudal lords. Your role in coordinating these activities requires learning to work with individuals whose methods you cannot fully approve, while recognizing that their effectiveness serves your lord's interests, creating moral conflicts that test your understanding of loyalty, honor, and the practical requirements of political survival. The assassination missions that ninja undertake target enemy leaders, military commanders, and political figures whose deaths would benefit your lord's strategic position. Operations that require careful planning, precise execution, and absolute secrecy to avoid the political consequences that open warfare would create. The sabotage activities include destroying enemy supplies, disrupting communications, and creating confusion that weakens enemy military effectiveness while providing advantages that conventional tactics cannot achieve, requiring coordination between ninja operations and samurai military campaigns. Your growing understanding of shadow warfare reveals the complexity of feudal politics, where public honor and private necessity often conflict, forcing leaders to balance moral principles with practical requirements that determine survival in a competitive environment, where failure means death or disgrace. The religious aspects of ninja training include esoteric Buddhist and Shinto practices that provide spiritual strength for activities that violate conventional moral codes, creating belief systems that justify unconventional warfare, while maintaining spiritual discipline that enables effective service to feudal lords. The family structures within ninja clans differ from samurai households, emphasizing collective security over individual honor while maintaining loyalty to clan leaders, who coordinate activities that serve multiple feudal lords simultaneously, creating complex relationships that require careful management to avoid conflicting obligations. The economic foundations of ninja operations include legitimate businesses that provide cover for intelligence activities, agricultural production that supports clan communities, and payments from feudal lords who employ ninja services, while maintaining plausible deniability for activities that violate conventional warfare norms. Your relationship with ninja agents evolves from initial distrust to grudging respect as you observe their effectiveness and dedication, learning that different forms of service can demonstrate loyalty while requiring different moral frameworks that balance individual conscience with collective survival needs. The technological innovations developed by ninja clans include specialized weapons, communication systems, and infiltration tools that enhance their effectiveness while remaining simple enough for reliable operation under difficult conditions, creating tactical advantages that complement conventional military capabilities. The medical knowledge possessed by ninja practitioners includes treatment of injuries, preparation of poisons, and understanding of human anatomy that enhances their effectiveness, while providing healing capabilities that benefit both their own communities and the feudal lords who employ their services. The information warfare techniques used by ninja agents include spreading false rumors, intercepting enemy communications, and creating disinformation that confuses enemy decision-making, while providing accurate intelligence that enables your lord to make informed, strategic decisions. Your education in shadow warfare teaches you about the limitations of conventional honor codes, the necessity of adaptability in political conflicts, and the importance of maintaining multiple approaches to achieving strategic objectives, while preserving the moral authority that justifies samurai leadership. The coordination between ninja operations and samurai military campaigns requires careful timing, secure communication, and mutual understanding of objectives that serve overall strategic goals, while maintaining the secrecy that protects ninja agents and the honor that defines samurai identity. This shadow war reveals the full complexity of feudal conflict, where victory depends on combining honorable combat with unconventional warfare, demonstrating that effective leadership requires understanding all aspects of political competition while maintaining the moral authority that justifies warrior rule and social hierarchy. The Cherry Blossom Festival. The annual Cherry Blossom Festival represents a brief respite from the constant demands of military service, providing opportunities for cultural expression, social interaction, various and aesthetic appreciation that balance the harsh realities of warrior life with moments of beauty that remind samurai of the values they fight to preserve. The preparation for the festival begins weeks in advance, requiring coordination between samurai families, merchant guilds, and religious organizations that transform the castle town into a celebration of Japanese culture while maintaining the security measures necessary to protect against potential attacks during periods of reduced military vigilance. Your role in festival preparations includes organizing security arrangements, coordinating with other samurai families, and ensuring that the celebration reflects properly on your lord's power and cultural sophistication, while providing entertainment that strengthens social bonds within the warrior class and broader community. The cherry blossoms that inspire the festival bloom for only a brief period, creating natural beauty that serves as a metaphor for the transient nature of life, honor, and earthly achievement, reminding participants of the Buddhist principle that all things pass away, while encouraging appreciation for momentary beauty. The poetry competitions held during the festival provide opportunities for samurai to demonstrate cultural refinement through verses that capture the essence of spring beauty, military service, and philosophical reflection, creating artistic expression that balances martial identity with intellectual sophistication. Your participation in poetry contests requires composing verses that demonstrate technical skill, emotional depth, and cultural knowledge while maintaining the restraint and dignity appropriate for someone of your social position, creating art that serves both personal expression and social obligation. The tea ceremonies performed during the festival follow elaborate protocols that demonstrate cultural mastery while providing meditative experiences that offer temporary escape from the violence and political tension that characterize normal samurai existence, creating moments of peaceful contemplation. The music and dance performances include traditional arts that have been preserved through generations of court culture, military traditions, and religious practice, creating entertainment that educates participants about cultural heritage, while providing pleasure that strengthens community bonds. Your family's participation in the festival includes your wife's demonstration of cultural skills, your children's performances that display their education, and social interactions that maintain relationships with other samurai families, while reinforcing the social hierarchy that defines warrior society. The religious ceremonies that accompany the festival include prayers for military success, ancestor veneration that connects current celebrations to family traditions, Buddhist rituals that provide spiritual guidance for the coming year's challenges, while maintaining divine protection for the community. The economic impact of the festival includes increased trade, employment for craftsmen and performers, demonstration of the prosperity that effective military leadership can provide for the entire community, creating positive associations between warrior rule and social welfare. The political dimensions of the festival include diplomatic opportunities for negotiation with rival clans, demonstration of military strength through ceremonial displays, and reinforcement of social alliances that support your lord's political position while maintaining the stability that enables cultural celebration. The artistic competitions extend beyond poetry to include painting, calligraphy, and craft production that demonstrate the cultural achievements made possible by political stability and economic prosperity, creating tangible evidence of the benefits that warrior leadership provides to society. Your appreciation of the festival's beauty deepens your understanding of what samurai service protects, connecting military duty to cultural preservation, while providing emotional and spiritual renewal that strengthens resolve for the challenges that will resume when the celebration ends. The temporary suspension of normal military routines during the festival provides opportunities for reflection, family time, and cultural activity that balance the demands of warrior service while maintaining the human connections that give meaning to honor, duty, and sacrifice. The merchant activities that support the festival include trade in luxury goods, specialized foods, and cultural items that demonstrate the economic prosperity that political stability enables, creating commercial relationships that strengthen the economic foundation of warrior society. The children's participation in festival activities includes games, performances, and educational experiences that transmit cultural values while providing entertainment that connects young people to traditions they will inherit and preserve through their own adult responsibilities. The festival's conclusion includes ceremonies that mark the transition back to normal military readiness, religious observances that provide spiritual protection for the coming year, and social activities that strengthen the relationships that will support community survival during future challenges. The memories created during the festival provide emotional sustenance during difficult periods, reminding participants of the beauty and cultural richness that justify the sacrifices required for military service while maintaining hope for future celebrations that depend on successful defense of community values. This Cherry Blossom Festival represents the cultural dimension of samurai existence, demonstrating that warrior identity includes appreciation for beauty, commitment to cultural preservation, an understanding that military service serves purposes beyond mere survival, protecting the aesthetic and spiritual values that define Japanese civilization. The final battle, the political situation that has been building throughout the year, reaches its climax as rival clans prepare for decisive combat. that will determine the future of regional power, requiring mobilization of all available resources, while testing the military skills, strategic planning, and spiritual preparation that define samurai effectiveness in warfare. Your lord's decision to join the larger conflict reflects careful calculation of political opportunities, military capabilities, and honor obligations that have been developing through months of diplomatic negotiation, intelligence gathering, and strategic preparation that will determine whether your clan rises or falls in the coming battle. The mobilization process requires organizing hundreds of samurai, thousands of foot soldiers, and the complex logistics needed to support military operations that may last for weeks, while maintaining the discipline and morale necessary for effective combat performance under extreme conditions. Your role in battle preparations includes command responsibilities for a section of the army, coordination with other samurai leaders, and personal preparation that involves spiritual purification, equipment maintenance, mental conditioning that enables effective performance during the chaos and terror of combat. The strategic planning sessions reveal the complexity of medieval warfare, where success depends on coordinating cavalry charges, archery bombardments, and infantry assaults while adapting to changing battlefield conditions that require quick decision-making and effective communication under extreme stress. The intelligence reports about enemy capabilities, positions, and intentions provide information that influences tactical decisions, while demonstrating the importance of reconnaissance, espionage, an analysis that determines whether strategic plans will succeed or fail when implemented under combat conditions. Your personal preparations include meditation practices that develop acceptance of death, revision of family arrangements in case you do not survive, and spiritual exercises that strengthen resolve while maintaining the mental clarity needed for effective leadership during the confusion and violence of battle. The night before battle brings final equipment checks, prayers for divine protection, and quiet contemplation of the honor and duty that justify risking everything in service to your Lord, while accepting the possibility that tomorrow's sunrise may be your last. The march to battle involves hours of movement in full armor, maintaining formation discipline, while managing the physical demands of carrying weapons and equipment over difficult terrain that must be covered regardless of weather conditions or individual fatigue. The first sight of enemy forces reveals the scale of the conflict, with thousands of warriors arrayed across the battlefield in formations that demonstrate the military organization and fighting capabilities that will determine victory or defeat through skilled application of tactical principles and individual courage. The battle begins with archery exchanges that test accuracy and nerve, while providing opportunities to disrupt enemy formations before close combat begins, requiring precise timing and coordination that depends on training, experience, and leadership that maintains unit cohesion under fire. Your participation in the cavalry charge represents the pinnacle of samurai warfare, combining horsemanship, swordsmanship, and tactical awareness in moments of supreme danger that require split-second decisions while maintaining the aggressive spirit that enables breakthrough attacks against enemy positions. The close combat that follows involves individual duels, group fighting, and chaotic melee action that tests every aspect of martial training while requiring the mental toughness needed to continue fighting despite wounds, exhaustion, and the psychological pressure created by witnessing death and violence. The turning point of the battle comes when superior tactics, individual heroism, or strategic reserves tip the balance in favor of one side, creating momentum that determines final victory while requiring continued fighting to exploit advantages and prevent enemy recovery. Your survival of the battle depends on skill, luck, and the support of comrades who share the dangers while maintaining unit cohesion that enables mutual protection and tactical effectiveness that overcomes individual limitations through coordinated group action. The aftermath of victory includes caring for wounded comrades, honoring fallen warriors, and securing the battlefield, while beginning the political process that will determine how military success translates into lasting political advantage and social advancement. The individual combats you survive become part of your personal legend, providing stories that demonstrate courage and skill, while contributing to family honor that will be remembered by future generations who inherit the responsibilities and privileges of samurai status. The political consequences of the battle reshape regional power relationships, creating new opportunities for advancement, while establishing precedents that will influence future conflicts as successful military leaders gain influence and unsuccessful ones face political extinction. Your enhanced reputation as a proven warrior opens possibilities for greater responsibilities, higher social position, and increased influence within the feudal hierarchy, while creating expectations for continued military service that will define your future role in society. The lessons learned from battle experience include tactical knowledge, leadership skills, and understanding of human nature under extreme stress that prepare you for future challenges, while demonstrating the continuous learning process that defines effective military leadership. This final battle represents the culmination of samurai training, the test of honor and courage that validates warrior identity, while demonstrating the ultimate purpose of martial discipline and spiritual preparation that enables effective service to feudal lords and family honor. The victory achieved through teal warfare, strategic planning, and individual courage establishes your place in the warrior hierarchy while providing the foundation for future military and political activities that will define your legacy and contribute to the continuation of samurai tradition and Japanese cultural development.